Welcome to the Law Firm Marketing Minute, your source of internet marketing inspiration.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Law Firm Marketing Minute. I'm your host, John Henson, and we are wrapping up 2022. This is going to be the last episode for the year. Going to take a couple of weeks off, come back on, I think, January 9th, I think is what it is. So yeah, we're going to take off the 26th and January 2nd, come back on January 9th. With another episode to start the new year. Just wanted to thank everybody so much for listening this year. And, you know, the podcast, especially Law Firm Marketing Minute, continued to grow. A lot of great feedback from all of you out there, and definitely looking to continue that in 2023. But this year, I wanted to wrap up just a thought that I had while I was lying in bed last night. I find it very interesting that we essentially hold digital marketing to a different standard, even though the objectives and everything that we're trying to do with marketing is still the same. And what I mean by that is, you look, 30, 40, 50 years ago when people were trying to market their businesses, what were they doing? They were putting ads in phone books. They were doing billboards. People are still doing billboards. They were doing radio and TV ads. People are still doing radio and TV ads. And there was, at the time, and even still today, there was no possible way to figure out who exactly would see those ads. All right. You could estimate the number of copies of Yellow Pages and phone books that went out to people. You could estimate the number of cars that drove by that specific billboard. You could look at, ratings from radio and TV to see, potentially kind of estimate how many people may have seen your ad. But for some reason, we hold digital marketing to a really higher standard, in the sense that, just because you can't figure out how many people see your ad, or because you're only given a rough estimate, it's somehow not worth it. The biggest example that I see is kind of with email marketing. I mean, there are digital marketing people who are almost cannibalizing themselves because they're saying, oh, no, email marketing is dead. Oh, it doesn't work. And the main reason why people are saying that is because of these new privacy laws and privacy settings that are being enacted that really limit the scope of deliverability and open rates. It inhibits your ability to get an accurate open rate. All right. The problem, though, is that you can still estimate how many people see your email, and really email, it's a twofold sort of visibility, right? There's the visibility of simply seeing the email show up in the inbox, which, fine. If people don't open it, they still see it. And maybe they, manually delete it or archive it, or they just kind of mark it as read and leave it in their inbox, or, it just stays unread, but they still see it. They still see your name. They still see the subject line. So they still see it, right? It doesn't matter if they open it. It's great if they do. You want them to open it, but you can still gauge and estimate how many people would have just seen your email, and there's still value in that, right? You even have more control over who sees it because you have control over who's on your contact list. You don't have that same control over phone books or billboards or radio and TV. You have no control over that. You can position your billboard in an area where maybe the majority of your audience is hanging out. You can potentially, obviously you can choose which radio stations, maybe, and TV channels that your ad gets run on, and maybe at what time to get the highest percentage of your audience, but you're still estimating those things, and you have less control over it. You have full control over your email list. That's what blows my mind about why people talk crap about email marketing. You have full control over it. 100% who is going to see that email. All right. That everyone on your list, your contacts, current past clients, leads, referral partners, whoever. You know they're going to see that. That is who you are trying to target. You're targeting 100% of the people that you want to see your content. The one thing you don't have control over is who actually opens it. You don't have control over knowing who all saw it. And that's okay, because that control has almost never been there, especially back before when there were TV ads, radio, yellow pages, whatever the case is. But yet, for some reason, we're so highly critical. There are so many people who are so highly critical of email marketing specifically. I know I'm hanging on that, right now, but that there's still so much more value there, because you still have much more information than you did 40, 50 years ago, when you were just relying on the yellow pages, when you were just relying on billboards or radio ads, right? On the other side of it, you talk about your website. A lot of people hang on web traffic as being kind of the gauge for marketing success. And in some areas, sure, SEO, paid ads, you want to look at website traffic as somewhat of an indicator. It's not going to tell you everything, but website traffic still, in general, at least in my belief, should not be your primary concern, right? Like, for example, look, if your website is doing multiple hundreds of visits each week, all right, let's say you're getting 500 visits to your website each week, you're doing something right, right? People are visiting your website. Like, we average anywhere from 800 to 1200 people on our website a week. All right. We're doing something right. We're getting traffic. Right. But think about like how things were before the internet. Think about, like, imagine having 100, 200 people come into your office every single day because of what your marketing is doing. All right. Honestly, like, on the surface, that sounds great, but in reality, that would be a nightmare, because you would never get anything done. Right. Like, all these people are coming into your office trying to figure out if you're the right lawyer that they need to hire. And you would never get any actual work done, because you're constantly meeting with these people trying to explain, like, hey, this is what I do. This is how I help. And it's a constant flood of people, which sounds like a good thing, but you are the one that's actually having to filter that. That's what your website should be doing. And that's what your website acts as now. You have all these people coming in, trying to figure out if you're the right person or not. They figure that out, they make a call, or they go elsewhere. And, if your website is doing that, your website traffic wouldn't matter as much. What would matter then is the conversion rate. So, like, if you're converting a good percentage of your clients, it wouldn't matter if your website's getting 100 visits a week or 1,000, because it's filtering out the bad fits and attracting the right fits. So that's where your content marketing comes into play, with all of the messaging and all of that. And so it's just something that I found very strange, when people are so critical of their website performance or their email marketing, because it's so easy to lose sight of just how much information you have based on, especially compared to what you used to deal with, right? Social media is kind of the same way. You have control over who sees that stuff, organic reach, your followers, your connections. Those are the people that you actually want to be connected to. And so it's just funny to me how people maybe don't believe in it. They don't believe in how social media works. They don't believe in how email marketing works. And I don't get it. And honestly, like, if you're on the fence about it, like, I would love to hear it. I would love to hear, what your hesitations are or criticisms are around email marketing, around website, functionality, in terms of how much you're utilizing your website, what you're using your website for. If you're just focused on SEO and paid ads and just trying to get as much traffic as possible, versus using your website as a filter, as a lead magnet, whatever the case is. I would love to hear that. Spend the next couple of weeks, sending me some emails and letting me know. I would love to come back into 2023 and address some of that stuff. But yeah, it was just something that struck me, something that I found very interesting. in that, where so many people are highly critical of digital marketing, and they panic when, you know, settings change or when they don't get the results that they think they should be getting. And the reality is that they've lost sight of just how much capability they have in the first place and how much capability they're leaving on the table. And so when you reframe it like that, I think it should get you really excited about what you can do with your email, with your website, with your social media, whatever the case may be. Yeah, just something that was really interesting to me. But other than that, man, again, another great year for us here at Spotlight Branding. I was gonna put some numbers together, but we'll have an article coming out towards the end of the year highlighting just some of the numbers, how much we've grown, how much the podcast has grown. Really excited to share that stuff with you. And then in January, be on the lookout for the first signs of the 2023 trends report. That survey is going to be open through the end of the year. I encourage you to go and fill it out. It should only take you about 10 to 15 minutes. I'm looking at, I thought it would take a little bit longer than that, but I'm looking at the average time that people are taking. It's usually just about 10 minutes, 10 to 15. So go to spotlightbranding.com/survey to take that legal trends report survey. When you do, we'll make sure that you get early access. You'll be entered to win some Amazon gift cards as just a token of our appreciation. And then you'll also just have the warm, fuzzy feelings of knowing that you're helping out us and also whoever ends up reading this report so they can get great information about the state of legal marketing. And so spotlightbranding.com/survey is how you go and take that. And that's going to do it. Thank you so much for coming along with us here in 2022, and can't wait to see what 2023 has in store. Thanks again. We'll see you next year.
Thanks for joining us. Please visit lawfirmmarketingminute.com for more information. We'll see you next time.